So let's see the question again. Expressed in the form y equal to a x minus h squared plus k, and hence sketch the graphs of the following. So when we look at the question, we understand that we have to start with completing the square, and then after getting the result, then we can use it to find the maximum or minimum point, and after that we can sketch the graph. So let's look at question D. Question D. So we have y equal to 2x squared plus 8x minus 4. So to start doing completing the square, we take out the 2, factorize 2. So x squared plus 4x. So minus 4, I just remain it. And then for the bracket there, I had to do completing the square in this way. X squared plus 4x. You see, first I write back the two terms. Then I had to know that I had to put, this is b. So we have to put b over 2 square minus b over 2 square. So we have to put that. So we put 4 over 2 square, 4 over 2 square, followed by the last term, minus 4. So when we do this, we are basically managed to change the first three terms to a perfect square, where you can factorize into two same factors. So something like this. So the first three terms, which are these three, they can factorize to the same factors. So as you can see here, it will become 2, then followed by x plus 2 square. So if you factorize it, it will be this. And after that, minus 4. Okay, so just for the information, for the factorizing of that three terms, we can do it in this way. So x times x become x squared, 2 times 2 become 4, cross multiply, x times 2, 2x, and x times 2, 2x, you add them up, you get 4x. So which is the term in the middle. So you have to make sure that when you add up the 2x and the 2x here, you get 4x, and it is the same with the term in the middle. So if that works, then x plus 2 is the first factor, and x plus 2 again is the second factor. So that means you have the same factors. Now what to do next is we expand. We times 2 with this, times 2 with that. Then we get 2x plus 2 square. Then imagine 2 multiply with minus 4. So we get minus 8. Minus 8 minus 4. 2x plus 2 square minus 12. So we have done completing the square. So we have to find out the minimum point from this form. So which means this form. Okay, so to find the minimum point, of course y is minimum because a is more than 0. This is a. A is 2 here. 2 is more than 0. So this is a equal to 2, which is more than 0. That means the graph is a smiling face graph, where there is a minimum point there. Okay, to find the minimum point, we take the bracket. This is the bracket. We let it equal to 0. X plus 2 equal to 0. X equal to minus 2. Then for this, minus 12, this is y. So y equal to minus 12. So we have the x and the y. This is the stationary point or turning point, which is minus 2 minus 12. So this is the
what's the formula again?
The formula for completing the square, is it? Also,
yeah,
I write it here. The formula for completing the square is Okay, y equal to a x minus h square plus k, and after that the stationary point is hk. So this is the formula, completing the square and the turning point. This is the formula.
Okay.
So we are using this formula to find the minimum point at the end. Okay, so once you get the minimum point, then we can continue with other information like x-intercept, y-intercept. Then we can sketch the graph already. Okay, so we continue with x-intercept here.
Okay.
X-intercept, to find this, we have to let y equal to 0. So we let y equal to 0, we put y equal to 0 into the left hand side of the equation. Put 0 here. So we put 0 there and we write it in this way. 0 equal to 2x squared plus 8x minus 4. So let's say I divide by 2. I get x squared plus 4x minus 2. Then I try to factorize it. Normally, if you can factorize, you just go ahead.
Okay.
If you cannot factorize, you will get decimal number or maybe no root. We normally use calculator to check. Okay, so let's say for this case, we have I'm pressing calculator to check. Okay, I know that the roots are decimal roots. Okay, because I'm pressing calculator, I know that the roots are minus 2 plus 6, and the other one is minus 2 minus 6. So these are the two roots. Okay, so if we know the root is going to be in that form, so of course we have to show working by using quadratic formula. Okay, by using quadratic formula. So where the quadratic formula, I write the formula again. Minus b plus minus b squared minus 4ac.
Isn't that like 2?
2.
Yeah, there's like 2 different equations.
You mean these two, right? This one and this one. Or you mean this equation and this equation?
No. So when you look at the one that you wrote just now, the actual equations to solve a square, isn't that 2?
Yes. There are 2 equations there.
And what is the purpose of there being 2?
There are 2 equations here so that we can find 2 roots. So that's why this formula itself, they will help us to find 2 roots at the same time. So one is plus and another one will be minus. As you can see here at the end we will get minus. Yeah, so we have to show working to let the examiner know that at the end we will get this and this by using this formula. Of course these two I get it from calculator, but we still need to show working on how you get these two. Okay, so now when you want to substitute this into the quadratics formula, so we have to know that a is 1, b is 4, c is minus 2. So let me write down first. A is 1, b is 4, c is minus 2. Then I will get x equal to minus b plus minus square root of b square, so 4 square, minus 4, 1, minus 2 over 2a. Then after that, we focus on the square root first. So we can just use calculator to count everything here. Or I just count straight away. This is 16. 16 plus a, 24. So this is 24 over 2. Then after that, minus 4 plus minus this square root 24, right? This square root 24, I do like this. I change it to square root 4 times 6. I use 4 because 4 we can square root it. It's a perfect square.
Okay.
It will become 2. So at the end it will become 2 third 6. Okay, so let's write it down. 2 third 6 over 2. And then we can divide by 2. So I take negative 4. I take negative 4 divide by 2. Then I take this divide by 2. So negative 4 divided by 2, I get negative 2 plus minus. Then I take this divided by 2, basically the 2 cut off. So only 6 remain. So I get this. And these are the x-intercept. So we have two x-intercept. The first one is minus 2 plus 6. The second one is minus 2 minus 6. So of course we can just press calculator to check the value. So it is actually 0.4495. This one is negative 4.449. Okay, so these are the x-intercept. Now we continue with the y-intercept. So y-intercept, I put it here, y-intercept. So to find y-intercept, the idea is we let x equal to 0. Let x equal to 0. We substitute 0 into this equation. Okay, so which means you put 0 here and here. Then you find the y. Okay, so we get y equal to 2 0 square plus 8 0 minus 4. We get y equal to minus 4. This is the y-intercept. Okay, so once we get stationary point, okay, which is, okay, let's say I circle it with yellow. We have the first information, stationary point, then the x-intercepts, and then the y-intercepts. Okay, now we can sketch the graph already. Okay, so let's sketch the graph. Let's say here.
Okay.
Yeah, so first let's put in the minimum point, minus 2 minus 12, as you can see here, minus 2 minus 12. So minus 2 is to the left, from the origin to the left. Minus 12 is going down. So the minimum point is somewhere here, minus 2 minus 12. And after that, we have the x-intercept, minus 4 and 0.4. Minus 4 should be around here. 0.4 is around here. Okay, so I sketch the graph first. As I know it's minimum point, right? So the graph is going to be a smiling face graph. Okay, something like this, a smiling face graph. So I sketch the graph first so that it looks smooth. Okay, so I sketch the graph, and after that I label this as the x-intercept that I obtained just now, minus 4.449, and then this one is 0.4495, and then the y-intercept minus 4. So the whole graph settled. So basically 4 steps. First step, completing the square to get stationary point. Second step, find the x-intercept. Third step, find the y-intercept. And then the fourth step, sketch the graph. So
But
yeah.
just for that, because you put it in decimals, right? Like you just said that you should always just leave it in fractions unless it asks for decimals.
Oh, okay. So let's say I just follow what your teacher said. We put it in third form, the third form, square root form.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's change this. Okay, this one and this one. We change it to third form. Okay, so yeah, join back first. Okay, now to change it to third form, we just write this one for the negative value, minus 2 minus 36 minus 2 plus 36. Okay, so yeah, that will be the answer then. Okay, now
Okay.
let's move on. Part E. Part E, y equal to minus 3x squared minus 12x plus 9. Okay, so we start with completing the square. So we have to factorize whatever number that stay in front of the x square. So for this case, minus 3. We factorize minus 3. Minus 3. So imagine you divide by minus 3 for this. Divide by minus 3. So when you divide by minus 3, you get only x squared. So only x squared. Then you divide by minus 3 for this, then you get positive 4. And the positive 9, we don't care, I'll just leave it there. Okay, so where I factorize minus 3 from here and here, okay, from the first term and the second term only, and I put these two in bracket. Okay, now we can start the process where this is b. Okay, so we can put it in this way then. So first minus 3, then we write back the x squared, we write back the 4x. Then here we have to put the b over 2 squared minus with b over 2 squared. Okay, so we have to add these two terms over there. So where it is 4 over 2 squared, 4 over 2 squared again, plus 9. Okay, now same like the previous question, these three terms is going to be a perfect square. So let's write it down in this way. X squared plus 4x plus, okay, we count it out. 4 over 2 is 2. 2 squared is 4. So that is where we get 4. And then minus 4. Then plus 9. So we factorize these three. Okay. So the way that we factorize will be the same as this one. As you can see, they are same number, x squared plus 4x plus 4. This one x squared plus 4x plus 4. So these three will become x plus 2 square. Same one, x plus 2 square. So we will get minus 3 x plus 2 square, then minus 4, then plus 9. Okay, then we have to expand the minus 3 with this and with that. So we get minus 3 x plus 2 square, and then we multiply minus 3 with minus 4, then we get positive 12, positive 12, and then plus 9, and then we add up 12 and 9, we get 21. Okay, so we have done completing the square here, and now what we can do is we can just find out the stationary point. Okay, the stationary point. So where first you look at the a here. When the a is minus 3, right, which is a negative value, which is less than 0, we need to know that the graph is a set phase graph. Just imagine negative means not good. Okay, so set phase. So a set phase graph has a maximum point, as you can see here. A maximum point is there. Okay, so we can get the maximum value. So how? Same. we let this bracket equal to 0. X plus 2 equal to 0, x equal to minus 2. And we let y equal to 21 at the back here. Y is 21. Okay, so y equal to 21. So our maximum point is minus 2, 21. So we get the maximum point. Now the next step is we have to find out the x-intercept. So I draw a line and do it here. X-intercept. So we let y equal to 0. And we substitute 0 over here. And then we have to solve the equation. So substitute 0 here. Then we get 0 equal to minus 3x squared minus 12x plus 9. Okay, so to solve this equation, so first I'm going to divide by negative 3, as I know 3 of them is divisible by negative 3. So I will get, for the first term, I will get x squared after dividing by negative 3. And then I know that negative 12 divided by negative 3, I get positive 4. So I will have positive 4x. And then I know positive 9 divided by negative 3 is negative 3. So I have negative 3 here. Okay, then let's see whether we can factorize this or not. So it seems like cannot also. So I just double check with calculator. Okay, yes, cannot factorize. When I press calculator, I know that the x is going to be minus 2 plus 7, and then the other one is minus 2 minus 7. So when you get something like that, that means you have to use the quadratic formula again to show the working and get this at the end. Okay, so the quadratic formula, of course, it is same with the top one. This formula again. Okay, so we just use that. I write down first, minus b plus minus b squared minus 4ac square root over 2a. So first, I write down the value of a, which is 1, b is 4, c is minus 3. So I have 1, 4, and minus 3. Now x equal to minus 4 plus minus 4 squared minus 4, 1, minus 3 square root over 2, 1. Then we start with the square root here. Okay, so let's count it. 4 squared is 16. 16, this one you multiply, then you get positive 12. 16 plus 12 is 28. So we get 28 here. Divide by 2. Okay, then after that, what happened is we have to change the square root 28 to square root 4 times 7. So I pick up 4 and 7 because 4 I can square root. I can square root this to 2. It's a perfect square. So I can change the square root 4 to 2, followed by square root 7. Okay. Now I just write it down. Minus 4 plus minus. So the square root 28 is 2 square root 7 divided by 2. Then I divide. Minus 4 divided by 2 is minus 2. Then 2 over 2, no more. Square root 7 remain. And we have to separate them. we have to separate these into two answers. As you can see here, we have plus and minus. So we have to separate these in this way. Okay, separate this in this way. Okay, so let's write it down. X equal to minus 2 plus square root 7. X equal to minus 2 minus square root 7. So of course it is good to check with calculator to find out what value is that. It will help us to put the x-intercept in the correct position. So minus 2 plus square root 7 is basically 0.6646458, and the second one, minus 2 minus square root 7 is negative 4.646. So we have two x-intercept here. Okay. Then the next step, we have to find the y-intercept. The y-intercept. Okay. So we have to let x equal to 0. Okay. Let x equal to 0, and we have to substitute the 0 into here and here. Then you have to find the y. That will be the y-intercept. Okay, so y equal to minus 3, 0 square, minus 12, 0, plus 9. So at the end we get 9, and this is the y-intercept. And now we can use the three information here. Let's say I circle it again. First we use the maximum point. Second we use the x-intercept. And third we use the y-intercept. So we can sketch the graph. Okay, so the y-intercept. Okay, so we sketch the graph based on these three information. So I sketch it here. X, Y. So first we look at the maximum point. The maximum point is minus 221. So minus 2 is basically on the left hand side of the origin, minus 2, and 21 is up here. So minus 221 is around here. Okay. Then after that, we know that our graph is a set face graph, so which is this kind of shape. Okay, this kind of shape. And before you draw the graph, right, so it's good to look at this also. As you know, one of the x-intercept is negative, another one is positive. So when you put your graph, you have to make the graph cut at the negative value and another one cut at the positive value. So which means positive value for this, negative value for this. So we label it. This is positive value. We label with this one, minus 2 plus 7. Then the other graph, minus 2 minus 7. We label it here, minus 2 minus 7. Okay, so then the last step, the y-intercept, which is 9. So we label it on the y-axis, so which is here, 9. So this is the second question. Then we have the third one, y equal to minus x squared plus 4x plus 5. Okay, so minus x squared plus 4x plus 5. Okay, let's double check first. Minus x squared plus 4x plus 5. Okay, yes. So again, we start with completing the square. So completing the square, always remember, we don't want to have any number in front of x squared. So for this case, there is a negative there. So we have to factorize the negative. So we factorize the negative for the first two terms. So what happened to them is they change sign. The first one, which is negative, after taking out the negative, it becomes positive. The second term, which is positive, after taking out the negative, it becomes negative. So basically, they change sign. Now the third term, positive 5, I leave it there. I don't factorize. Okay, so now we know that this is the b. The b is now minus 4. So I have to put x squared minus 4x plus, okay, I have to put here b over 2 square.
Okay.
Followed by minus b over 2 square. Okay, so which is minus 4 over 2 square minus 4 over 2 square. Followed by the positive 5 at the end. Okay, so we simplified it, minus x squared minus 4x. So we count the things in the bracket. Minus 4 over 2 is minus 2. Minus 2, you square it, is positive 4. So we get positive 4 here. That's 5.
Okay.
Then we have to factorize the first three terms. Factorize the first three terms. How we factorize? Okay, let's say we show the working here. X squared minus 4x plus 4. To factorize these, x times x is x squared. Then we think of two numbers that multiply and get positive 4, and two numbers that add up will get negative 4. So that will be minus 2 times minus 2. As you can see, minus 2 times minus 2 is positive 4. And when you add up minus 2 and minus 2, then you get minus 4. So we use minus 2 times minus 2, you times, you get 4. Then you cross multiply. X times minus 2x. Again, x times minus 2x. Then you add it, you add them up, then you get minus 4x. Minus 4x. Okay, so minus 4x is what we want. Minus 4x is this one. Okay, it is the same now, so that means this factorization is correct. So we have to take the first factor, x minus 2, the second factor also, x minus 2. Then we put it in the bracket. So x minus 2 square. So the first three term, which is this, and this, three of these, you change it to two factors, two same factors. And the minus 4, we write back. Minus 4, then plus 5. And now we times the negative with this, the negative with that. Then we get minus x minus 2 square plus 4. They change sign already after you multiply with negative. Plus 5 minus x minus 2 square plus 9. So that is completing the square. We have done. So now we have to determine the stationary point. For this case, because this is negative, so a is negative 1, which is less than 0. So it is a maximum point. It's a maximum point. Negative means set phase graph, and maximum point is there. Then to find the maximum point, we take the bracket x minus 2, we let it equal to 0. Okay, we let it equal to 0. X minus 2 equal to 0, x equal to 2. Then we take the back one as y straight away, y equal to 9. So we have two values here, x is 2, y is 9. So this is a maximum point. Okay, so we get the maximum point. So that is the first step. Now the second step, we have to find out the x-intercept. So we let y equal to 0. So we let y equal to 0. Okay, so meaning that we substitute y equal to 0 into here. Then we find the x. Okay, so we substitute with 0 minus x squared plus 4x plus 5. So normally when we want to continue doing this, we will make these to be positive. Okay, so the first term normally we want it to be positive. So I will shift everything to the left so that they change sign. Then I will get x squared minus 4x minus 5 equal to 0. And we factorize this. X minus 5x plus 1 equal to 0. So of course, how I factorize it, you can use back the same method like just now. X times x is x squared.
Okay.
Minus 5 times 1 is minus 5. Cross multiply minus 5x and 1x. Add them up minus 4x. So you have to make sure this one same with this one. So it works. And after that we take x minus 5 as the first factor, and we take x plus 1 as the second factor. Okay, then we write it down. We let the first bracket equal to 0. Then we get x equal to 5. We take the second bracket equal to 0. We get x equal to minus 1. So these two are the x intercept.
Okay.
So we have two x intercepts here. This round, right, you realize that I don't use quadratic formula already because factorize works here. So if factorize doesn't work, then you have to use quadratic formula. Okay, now we look at the third step then. The third step is the Y-intercept. Okay, so the Y-intercept, we let x equal to 0. Okay, we let x equal to 0. So basically what we need to do is we substitute 0 here and here, 0 here and here. Then you have to find out the y. So y equal to minus 0 square, 40 plus 5. Y equal to 5. So this is the Y-intercept. Okay, so we have complete information. We have maximum point. We have
maximum point. Maximum
yes.
point is maximum point is the thing that did. Wait, maximum point. Which one is maximum point?
Yeah, it is like this. The
It's
graph is like
yeah,
this.
so it's unhappy. Yeah, okay.
Unhappy. Then the point here is the maximum point. Okay, then the information is the the y-intercept. So we use the three information that I circle in yellow: the maximum point, the x-intercept, and the y-intercept. So now we sketch the graph. Okay, let's say I use red. Maximum point is 2, 9. Okay, so x is 2. So you should expect they are on the right hand side of the origin, 2 around here. Then the y is 9, you have to go out 9 units. So it is more or less there, 2, 9. It's a maximum point. So that means when you sketch your graph, you have to sketch in these shapes and this shape. So something like that. So of course when you sketch, right, maybe we should look at the x-intercept as well, so that we know they cut here minus 1 and then they cut here 5. Okay, minus 1 and 5, they cut here and here. Okay, so now we sketch it. So here is minus 1, here is 5. And then the y-intercept, you can refer to this part. The y-intercept is 5, which is here. 5. So we have 1